I wanted you to listen to Jamie Carragher. I wanted you to ignore Steven Gerrard. And I wanted you to listen to Jamie Carragher. Seeing turmoil at Liverpool is good for me. I'm a Man United fan. I don't want to see you do well. I don't want to see you get back on track. This week was horrible. I've had a nasty cold, maybe even a little bit of man flu in there. But what cheered me up was watching the circus at Liverpool. But as you know, I'm fair in my analysis, no matter what I want the outcome to be. But you didn't listen to Jamie Carragher. The Liverpool supporters, the hardcore, as Jamie Carragher called them, the hardcore supporters at Anfield yesterday were fully behind Mo Salah and fully behind Arne Slot. The two together were imperative. The two together were absolutely needed. Both were supported, both were backed, and balance ensued. If you haven't seen it, this was at the end of the game. This was the Liverpool crowd, the Kop, and the entire Anfield, the entirety of Anfield, serenading their greatest ever Premier League player. Take a listen. As you can hear it there, singing his name. I wanted to do that uninterrupted, singing his name and nothing else in between. By the way, please like the video. Please share it across your social media platforms. Hit the like button if you haven't done so already. And what's really interesting is Arne Slot has also spoken. And he speaks on Mo Salah after his win. And he said here, he goes, I think actions speak louder than what has been said. I brought him in and he performs like I think every fan, including me, would like him to perform today. Arne Slot has also gone on to say that he definitely wants him to stay at Liverpool and there's nothing to be resolved. And what I love about this is, I spoke about this the early part of last week and about how Mo Salah is going to have to apologise and how Mo Salah is going to have to make amends for what he did. And a lot of people go, oh, I don't know if he will. It'll be embarrassing to publicly apologise, to release a statement, etc., etc. And this is even myself. We all learn in this moment. You can apologise in multiple ways. And often I think in life, saying the word sorry is often quite empty. It's just the word. It's just vibration. It doesn't mean anything. Actions always speak louder. They always have done in life, and they always will do. That, for me, is a fact. And yesterday, the way Mo Salah performed, the energy that he put in, the running that he did, the defending that he did, he gave every ounce of his being, every cell in his body was pushing to get that important win for Liverpool Football Club. That is the sorry. Now, internally, did he retract some of the things he said? Very likely. Did he apologise? Very likely. Did he receive an apology or at least an addressing of, do you know what, we could have handled this differently, we could have communicated differently, we'll open up some better channels next time so you don't feel like this again? That's very possible as well. But even you as Liverpool fans don't need to hear about that. And us rivals, we don't need to hear about it. Not one little bit. This was handled in a very balanced and very professional way by Mo Salah, by Arne Slot, probably by the captain, Van Dijk as well, but the entirety of Liverpool Football Club. And as I say, I know you guys love Jamie Carragher. He's a legend of yours, and rightfully so. He's rightfully a legend of Liverpool. But I think he allowed, along with a few other ex-Liverpool players who maybe wanted some social media attention, some clout off the back of this, they went a little bit too far. Thank God for the balanced head of Steven Gerrard. And I would say, having gone through just in my little community that has a lot of Liverpool supporters within it, the balance heads. Wrong that he said what he did. I understand how he felt. I want a resolution. I want the player to stay. I'm not taking sides per se. Look, if he'd have gone further nuclear, carried on going and going and going, sides would have been taken. But at that particular moment, none had to be. And I think that was excellent. We're going to go on to something that Jamie Carragher has said online alongside Rio Ferdinand in a moment. But this was also a snippet on the BBC Match of the Day yesterday, talking about this scenario. Let's take a little listen here.
I don't think it is going to go away as much as Arne Slot and Liverpool would want it to, because after the game on Tuesday, I think Arne was quoted as saying, well, is he going to say sorry? And it was noticeable today that in his interview afterwards, he didn't actually say whether...
But he said they had a meeting, didn't he?
Yeah,
he said they had a meeting, so he's back. That and it's settled down. So that view does...
See, straight away, what Alan Shearer has done here is gone, well, the manager said, is he going to say sorry? He hasn't told us that he said sorry, and therefore it's still going to drag on. Arne Slot has said that a resolution doesn't need to be found. Nothing else needs to happen. He wants him back. We don't need to know any more than that. Alan Shearer, listen, you're a legend, mate. You don't need to know. The media... In fact, no one should know. Think about this, right, for a moment. Forget it's football. There are certain elements of everybody's job. Let's just say you work in a... I used to work in retail banking, you know. Let's just say you're in a bank or you're in a retail shop of some sort, and you're a manager, and a member of staff is rude and unprofessional to a customer. That customer might log an official complaint. You can then resolve that complaint by you might say, listen, there's some compensation. We're going to give you £20 voucher to come in and buy some, say we're a clothing shop, £20 voucher to buy some clothes. We're so sorry, and we will handle the member of staff internally. That customer doesn't need to know about the ins and outs of your conversation with the member of staff, what disciplinary action was or was not taken, what training was or wasn't taken, what warnings were issued or not issued, because that is an internal and private matter that is not for anybody else's consumption. No other staff member in that building, unless they're part of management, need to know. And that's life. I know that, listen, I work on social media, but I think we're getting too used to this idea that everything is public information. It's not. None of us need to know. And unless Mo Salah starts speaking up publicly in the same way, or there's issues along those lines, it's been dealt with, it's done with. The only way this perpetuates is by the media flaming it. And this is something Liverpool fans have got to guard against, because the media will want to keep this going, because it was an absolute triumph. An absolute triumph over the course of the last week. They made a lot of money out of it. They got a lot of attention out of it. And it being put to bed is probably no good for them.
Doesn't draw a line.
Also settled down because he's away now for the AFCON as well. So it will quieten down, but the quicker that comes to an end, then the questions will start again.
Does it draw a line under it for you?
No, I agree with Al. I think that short-term resolution was a surprise to everyone, but it makes sense the more you think about it, because the club's the most important, and now it's going to stop for a while.
I don't get it. Now, unless Mo decides he wants to leave, and if he does, then fair enough. But again, I think what this is to me, and you guys can tell me I could be completely wrong when I say this, this is the mainstream media saying, well, we won't let it drop. Because you could. The BBC don't need to ask questions about it. They don't need to keep asking Slot about it. They don't need to keep asking Mo Salah about it, but they will. They're going to pull on that thread. They won't just allow this to be a private matter. They'll say, oh, it's about the club, it's about the club. Well, if you really care about the club, you don't need to talk about it right now. You don't need to kick this can down the road. And we saw this tweet that came out from Rio Ferdinand where he said thoughts to Jamie Carragher, Mo Salah being sung by the cop. Remember, what's so significant about this is that Liverpool fans are meant to be the most important part of this. It was responded to by Jamie Carragher with, and rightly so, he was fantastic when he came on. And of course, this was a dig at Carragher that said that the hardcore would only side with the manager, and it almost suggested they would turn their back on Mo Salah. It was at the very least a divisive article, and I stand on what I said about that on Friday. Carragher then went on the attack and said thoughts on the price of World Cup tickets to Rio Ferdinand. A man of the people would surely call FIFA.com and Infantino out or was it the pay packet for the draw acting to buy your silence? And what I find really ironic about, some people will laugh because they don't like Rio Ferdinand, but I look at this and think, well, no disrespect, Jamie, you work for Sky and you work for CBS. That costs the viewers thousands of, in the UK, I don't know about the rest of the world, but thousands of pounds a year to watch Premier League football. It's massively overpriced. As an example, you work for different brands and different companies that cost supporters money, and that's absolutely fine. Now, the World Cup is massively extortionate. I'm sure Jamie Carragher at some point is going to take payment from some company, some TV network, some newspaper, some brand that's going to be at the World Cup that drives the cost up, because that's all part of it, is making money, and will be there. And you saw this with the Qatar World Cup. Every pundit and his dog, every journalist and his dog, every ex-pro and his dog, every commentator and his dog, wrong, bad, shouldn't be here, immoral. But how much money are you giving me? So it was a weird thing for me for Jamie Carragher. And maybe Jamie Carragher will have nothing to do with the World Cup in America. Maybe he'll make no money out of that competition whatsoever. Maybe he won't go out there whatsoever. Maybe he won't be part of the corporate element of it, which drives the price up of tickets. Maybe he won't be. And I'll take this back and say I apologise for the assumption, but a weird attack other than to deflect away from addressing the point that you were wrong. The Liverpool fans are not taking sides. Liverpool fans, the hardcore Liverpool fans, that doesn't mean to me at the ground. I think at the ground, I think around the world, have gone, we want unity, we want a resolution, we will not be turning on Mo Salah by and large, we will not be turning on the manager over this, we want it resolved as amicably, as quickly and as professionally as possible so that we can focus on the most important thing, which is Liverpool Football Club getting better. And well done to those fans. As ever, I want to thank you guys for all tuning in. It blows my mind how many thousands of you every week watch the content here, the amount of you that have subscribed, liked, shared, and everything else. Please hit the hype button if you've got any hypes left this week. That would be amazing. But until next time, take care, goodbye, God bless, and I'll see you soon. Thank you.